authorised workplaces and workforces right across the public and private sectors. Many sectors, including the government, are leading by example by making sure that in the government's circumstance, over 300,000 people get the support to go and get the vaccine during supported hours, and many, many other private sector employers have done similar. As we work through the required first and second doses, we're calling on all employers to do everything that they possibly can to facilitate and encourage their workforce to go out and get vaccinated for the safety not just of their workplace, not just of their fellow workers, but indeed the wider community. And I take this opportunity to encourage those quite small number of Victorians who are covered by this order who have yet to take that step to go and get vaccinated. It's a question of supporting all of our freedoms, all of our rights to be able to work safely in our community and get us reopened as quickly as we possibly can and stay open safely. In regards to the Mildura lockdown, the Chief Health Officer has determined that the current 7-day arrangements need to be extended for a further 7 days, and we've had another 34 cases in Mildura today, which is higher than any other area of regional Victoria. And indeed, given the complexities of that outbreak across cross-border communities, the complexity needs another good week for that support from the community to give the local public health unit, the local health services, the confidence that they can bring this into a more manageable situation. The first and second dose rates in Mildura continue to improve quite significantly. First dose rate is now over 90%. Second dose rates are still behind the state average, but closing fast and growing quickly at some 58%. We want to do everything we can over the course of the next week to work with the community to raise that vaccination level, to protect and support those people in the community who have coronavirus or might be at risk of it, and get ahead of that outbreak and make sure that we've got the systems and the supports in place to allow that cross-border community to reopen as soon as possible. So that lockdown will be extended in the Mildura local government area from midnight tonight, so as to midnight next Friday, the 22nd of October. We're also in a position to make some announcements around some major changes to the permit systems between Victoria and New South Wales, between the red and orange zone areas. As the risk profile between the two states changes, and as we get both states moving towards a more integrated reopening position, we've got further announcements to make as to how that will work. We've had our travel permit system in place since January of this year, and today we will be announcing that fully vaccinated people in New South Wales red zones will be able to enter Victoria without facing the 14-day quarantine arrangements, including people who are not Victorian residents. These changes made on the advice of the Public Health Team and the Chief Health Officer come as the Victorian community rapidly approaches, indeed is going to pass today, 88% of our population aged 16 and over having at least one dose, and 63% having 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Under these changes, which will come into operation from 11:59 p.m. on the 19th of October, you'll still require the Easy Vic Services permit, but what that will mean for fully vaccinated people entering Victoria from red zones will simply need a negative result from a test taken no more than 72 hours prior to their entry to Victoria. And then once having entered to Victoria, they must isolate whilst they get another test within a further 72 hours, and once they get that negative result, go about their business. People entering from red zones who are not fully vaccinated, including those with a medical exemption, will still need that negative test before they enter the state, but they will also still be required to quarantine for the full 14 days. And they'll also have the normal testing arrangements that would apply during quarantine periods. Further changes as part of the interstate traffic light system will also apply to people coming from orange zones. People coming from orange zones will no longer be required to get tested or to isolate until they receive a negative result. No requirements will apply to them other than the need to hold a valid permit. Orange zones conditions won't change for people who are not fully vaccinated, including those with a valid medical exemption. That meaning that you will still have to get tested and you will still have to isolate until that test result comes through. These changes have a series of consequential changes for people who are seeking to be exempted or the permitted workforce, but what they all point to is the increasing relaxation of border arrangements between Victoria and interstate jurisdictions who want to reflect those. Overwhelmingly, it's the position into the ACT and New South Wales who continue to have not dissimilar outbreak challenges. As I say, these changes will come into effect on the 19th of October, and interstate entries will still be required to get that Easy Vic Services app permit.